Hello Year 7 and welcome to your next geography lesson where we focus in on the country of Djibouti. It's a country that most people, if they've even heard of it, don't know very much about. So we're going to begin just finding out a few reasons why it might be a good place to live, or maybe not. In the back of your books then, write everything that you currently now remember about Djibouti. Really test your memory, don't use your notes, struggle, find this difficult, find this challenging, really think hard. Anything. It could be from its location to its development, to its physical geography, all the different things we've come across so far in this topic. Key thing is from memory. You've got up to 10 minutes to do that. At 10 minutes, if you're still going, well done, but stop there and let's have a look through some answers. So pause now and have a go at that. Okay, so here's a very long list. I will let you read through them all. Anything that you've missed off, add at least 5 of those things, at least 5, if not all of them. If you've got 5 minutes to do that, check off the things you've written and give the rest of this a go. So get cracking with that now. Okay, so copy the title, please. What is Djibouti like? Don't forget the date. We're going to find out some facts about Djibouti, some advantages of its location, some positivity about this country, although there are still some challenges. And at the very end, you're going to do a piece of extended writing, weighing those against each other and deciding whether Djibouti really is the kind of place someone would like to live. So get that title written down and the date. Pause the video now. Okay, so quick, simple task here. Get a pencil, get a ruler, divide your page into 4. If you have written the title and you've got, let's say, half a page, just skip to the next page. It's absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. Try and take up a whole page with this. Better to be safe than sorry. You won't actually need a whole page, but you'd rather do that than run out of room. 2 minutes to draw that. Okay, now I'd like you to write the subheadings into each box, like I have at the very top. Don't take up the entire box with the subheading. Just keep it nice and normal, standard, everyday writing on 1 or 2 lines. Do that now, please. Pause the video. Okay, so here's the information you're going to be adding to that table. There are 3 points per box. So if you get more than 3, something's gone wrong somewhere, cross something out if you need to, and rewrite the correct one in. The next slide has some definitions for words such as semi-arid, import, urban, a few key terms in there, politically stable. So maybe you get to the next slide and you can rewind back to this, kind of flick between the two, hopefully on YouTube, and that'll make sense and you can check those words. So moving on to the next slide. Here's some definitions, and now you can pause here, flick back to that last task, and hopefully you'll know what some of these words mean. So pause the video here and get that task done. Okay, well done for that. Here are the answers. Anything you now have wrong, you can cross out and correct, please. Hopefully you've done some good thinking here about all these terms. Get answering these now, get checking them, get correcting them. 5 minutes at most to do that, and we can move on. Pause the video now. Okay, so now we're going to take all that information and we're going to put it together into some PEEC paragraphs. Now, you have written these before. It's been a little while, though, so I'm going to go through a model for you, show you, remind you how this works. Success criteria. So the point. Is it a social, economic, or environmental point? That's the first thing we need to think about, and you can make that clear in your answer. And the point is going to be the basic, simple answer to, is Djibouti a good place to live? Then you're going to give some evidence. You're going to use some place-specific facts and numbers, which you can take from that last task, from your table. You're then going to explain. You're going to say why this is a good thing. Now, up till now, the point and evidence, you can essentially take straight from that sheet. But the explain is where you need to do some serious thinking and think about, well, okay, why is that good? Why is that socially or economically or environmentally good? And again, like I said, I'll show you in a minute what that looks like. And then finally, the C in PEEC is counter. You are going to offer an alternative view, a negative one in this sense, saying actually, no, it isn't a good place to live, and here's a reason why. Ideally, you want to link that to the original point. This is all one paragraph, so your counter shouldn't just be a random negative out of the air. It should link back to that point, evidence, and explain that you've already done originally. So if you think about this paragraph in kind of 2 sections, you've got the P part, point, evidence, explain, which is all about the good thing, and then you counter it with a negative at the end. Hopefully you're going to use some key terms in there. There's a short list on the screen, plus you can go back to some of those other words that I put earlier and defined for you. And also I'd like you to make sure that you check this for spelling, punctuation and grammar. Really important that when you've finished, you go back and reread this through at least once, looking for those, if not 2 or 3 times. As I said, there's a key term list there. There will be some sentence starters. You can see those on the board as well, but they'll be useful when we get to actually doing this task. So stick with me. Let's move on and have a look at the example. So my point here, I'm going to pick one, and unfortunately, because I've picked this means you can no longer use this point, although I am going to ask you to copy this out when I finish, but then you're going to do 2 of your own. So my point is, Djibouti is a good place to live because there's my sentence starter. The government has plans to improve the economy. So I've told you it's an economic point, but I've still kept it quite vague. The point doesn't need to be particularly detailed. So there's key term number 1, the economy. Then I give my specific evidence. And the evidence for this is that there are plans to become the financial centre for the Horn of Africa. Now, financial centre, whilst it's not a particularly detailed key term, and it's certainly not overly place specific, well, there isn't really any more than this. You can only give as much as you can. If I had the time, if we had extra time here and time for research, we could go and actually find out some specific plans about this financial centre. Well, where is it going to be? What city is it going to be in? What kind of businesses are going to be there? But for now, we haven't got that luxury. But with some of the other points that you're going to do, you certainly do. So you can use those. Explain. This makes it a good place to live as or because people will be able to become wealthy and improve their lives. It will also provide business opportunities for people from all around the world to work. So hopefully you can see how that links back to the original point. It's really important that the explanation links back to the point, as does the evidence. They all should link back and be about that point. If they're not, this is no longer a paragraph. This is just a series of random points. And then finally, I offer my counter. However, 75% of people live in poverty, and there's my place-specific fact. So they will not be able to work in banks and other financial businesses as they're not well educated enough. Again, that's that last bit there, that explanation of that point of the poverty. That's come from my head as well. I've had to think, well, so what? That 75% of people live in poverty. That's about the economy, yes, but it links specifically to this financial centre. Those people are not going to be educated enough to become, highly paid investment bankers. They'll be lucky if they can get jobs, cleaning the toilets and other service, low-skilled service jobs like that. So there's my PEEC paragraph. You don't need to do all the colours and the highlights and the arrows and stuff, but I would like you to copy that out with the point, evidence, explain counterpart as well, just to make it really clear to you which part's which. And those bits you can highlight or do in a different colour if you so wish to make them stand out. So pause here and copy this down. Okay, and on to the final task then, which is your turn to practice 2 PEEC paragraphs of your own. You can pick another economic point, you can pick a social one, an environmental one, it's up to you, but it's your chance now to practice. You've got the success criteria, you've got the key terms, you've got the sentence starters, you can go back to your table and you can use that, definitely, plus you can go back to that model as well, and hopefully that's all you need to put together 2 excellent PEEC paragraphs. Now, your teacher would love to see this. This is the kind of great work where we can offer feedback and give out achievement points as well for some really good attempts. So please send this to your teacher. It's, like I said, great task to see. Hopefully you're all keeping well. And that's the end of this lesson today, all about Djibouti. And we are nearly there, not too far away from the end of Horn of Africa, actually. So exciting times for a new topic coming up very soon. But for now, we're sticking with the Horn. I think got about 2 lessons left. Have a great day. See you later. Bye.